Greetings and good evening from SUPERTOHOREMIX, coming at you with the answers to all the submitted questions from last week's Q&A video. Thank you guys so much for these submissions, and it has to be said the output was much better than I was expecting it was going to be. My initial estimate was going to be somewhere along the lines of 3 to 4 questions, but thankfully that is not the case, and the questions I've been given are most interesting indeed. So sit back and relax, and to all those who were able to submit your questions, it's time for your answers. Today's first question comes from the user NUTTY, who asks, will Gamma and Inframan be allowed? The best way I could put it is, out of the two, Gamma has a stronger possibility than Inframan, but strange things do happen. I sometimes let other series slip in, here and there, but we will ultimately see about that one. The next question comes from the user THEMOUTHISGOD XD? I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, will you be doing Monster Hunter music? As in Monster Hunter mashups? Not really. This channel is more focused on stuff I mentioned in previous videos such as Tokusatsu, stuff from Toho, and just random bits and pieces. But Monster Hunter as material for mashups in general, that is a possibility. I have done several attempts before in some older compilations. They don't sound that good, but I might revisit the Monster Hunter series someday and see what I can pluck from those soundtracks to use for future mashups. The user GIOVANNI RICHE asks the question, are you going to continue the mixes? Why do you think I came back here in the first place? And with the reception being so positive after coming back, of course they will continue. Well, till I run out of steam or ideas, one of the two, or something else. But as far as I can tell, stay tuned, sit back and relax because more are coming. Next up is a real interesting question from the user REALHUMANKEANE? REALHUMANKEANE, I'll just put it as that for now. Ask the question, when you first ever heard the 1954 theme, what did you think of it? To be completely honest with you, I cannot remember. The first Japanese Godzilla films I was ever exposed to were the 90s Heisei movies, thanks to the Sony double feature DVDs when I went to a visit to America in 2004. So my first exposure to the theme in general was through Akira Ikufube's work during that particular time period. When I did get around to seeing the original a few years later, my reaction was more akin to, oh cool, this is where it all started. And it has to be said though, my reaction to hearing it and other mono recordings rather, in Shin Godzilla however, are not exactly favourable. That will be for another video for another time, possibly. Now, the next question is probably one a lot of you have been dying to know about for some time now. The user Jonathan Benjamin, sorry, couldn't resist, asked the question, what platform do you use to create or mix your music? The program I use is a wonderful little program called Audacity. If you want to try mashups for yourself, or simply want to muck around with music files in general, I highly recommend giving this program a whirl. Where do you think all these slowed down versions of music come from on certain videos? The next question is from the user Moonspeak Kaiju Iga, who asks, can you strip the lyrics from a song with vocals or something to that effect? Oh, how I wish. That would be so useful. Now, sometimes it can be done in Audacity to my knowledge, but neither do I have the know-how or the compatible sound files to do it without sounding like complete garbage. As for the next question, and possibly one of my favourites on this list, is from the user Real Godzilla Facts, who asked the question, can you compose music from scratch? Yes and no, at least not in the traditional sense. See, back in the day at school, we were introduced to a program that allowed you to create music with audio loops. Considering this was a special needs school, it would make sense to have a user-friendly medium to go about it. I highly enjoyed this piece of kit and managed to crank out some okay-ish material, but it was enough to get noticed. Years later down the line, I downloaded Magix 4, I think that's what his name was, and went into overdrive. Here are some samples of what I made out of these loops. Groundbreaking stuff, right? If you want to hear more, I have added a link in the box below. We can download some of my work to your heart's content. Our next question is from Teddy Colos. You know what, I'm even gonna bother with that one. And the question is, what is your favourite track you have made yourself? I can dumb it down to 3. Forvald, Valse Angels, and perhaps my absolute favourite, Legend of Dinosaur and Monster Funk. Considering how they turned out, I am very happy with the end result of all 3. I just wish I had that kind of success rate a bit more often, but what can you do? Now we are down to just 2 more questions, and the semi-final question is from HATMAN8989. Have you seen Godzilla Monster Planet, and if so, what did you think of it?
And here we go.
Why yes I have. Saw it the day it debuted on Netflix. To put it as shortly as possible, I'm saving some judgment, such as run reviews on characters and story, till the trilogy is completed. While it can be argued Monster Planet should be viewed as its own thing, I'd rather get a grip of the entire package. But, from what we have been given so far in regards to everything else, I really like where this is going. The world and lore being presented here, as well as the new take on Godzilla himself, I find really refreshing. See, rewind the clock back to say the mid-2000s. There was no way Toho would have even allowed something like this to pass because of the risks involved. They played things very safe for decades, which in the end nearly killed off the series thanks to Final Wars. While G14 was a nice way to bring the series back to a traditional format, the likes of Shin Godzilla and Monster Planet are necessary to breathe new life into this once stagnant series. To put it simply, Shin and Monster Planet succeeded where G89 failed, bringing Godzilla to a new generation and audience while keeping the core fundamentals of what makes Godzilla, well, Godzilla. And so I say, Toho, well done for pushing on with this experimental phase, as it has been a long time coming honestly. Although the news of them wanting to return to making them annually after 2020 concerns me greatly.
Don't do that.
And now we come to our final question, asked by eGaming, who asks, what motivates you and your YouTube channel? Honestly, since coming back, it has all been down to you guys. Back when I had my main account, Gigan05, I did whatever, whenever. In the 6 years I built a gradual viewer base and made some of my first online friends during that time. That took a long while, and a lot of my videos were made just because. The closest things I ever did to be consistent on that channel was Godzilla Nexus and Master of the Monsters. This time around, with rebranding Toho Remix into Super Toho Remix, and doing some research on how to manage your channel more professionally, I wanted to come back, try again, and see where that bridge would end up. To be truthful, I did not expect this channel to reach even 1,000 subs in less than a year. In fact, I predicted 6 months of barely getting anywhere and being done with this channel completely. But somehow, thanks to you guys, this channel gained a momentum that never happened to me before. This has inspired me to be more focused and driven to deliver better content. More so than ever in my life on the net. The last time this happened was my Sprite heyday on DeviantArt from 2011 to 2015. Now the goal's more clearer. The hope to introduce Godzilla fans to different music genres through the use of these mashups, and to push my creative juices through a medium that I have come to own and see what can be created. The beauty here is, unlike other major gaming franchises and other mainstream media where mashups are fairly common, Godzilla and Tokusatsu are wide open and have only had a few mashups done with their musical material. And that, my friends, brings this Q&A to a close. Honestly, this has been a lot of fun to make, and I really look forward to doing a second one if the time ever arises. Again, thank you to those who were able to submit your questions, and to those who want to submit their questions, there's always next time. This is SUPERTOHOREMIX as always appreciated of your questions and feedback, and as I mentioned, I will strive to do better and create better. Stay gold!